What's the deal? What's the deal, man? We back again. PolitiKan the podcast. Here with my boy, the famous homie, Ken Chronicles Media. We got the mayor, Alvin, focus on the future. He about to join us. We got a bunch of shit to talk about. What's been up with y'all?
Man, the daily, same old shit, just a different toilet.
Hey, you need to turn on the light, my boy. You black as hell, boy.
I'm just a black motherfucker.
Hey, Ronnie, you said the light not gonna help, huh?
I'm just a black nigga, you know what I'm saying? I'm a
Man,
dark skinned nigga.
ain't nothing wrong with that. I've been okay, man. Just the daily ins and outs working, trying to push Ken Chronicles Media, networking. Yeah, man, just happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. I see you with the Black Bon Jovi getting it in.
Yeah, man, he's a very talented artist, man. Went to his show over the weekend on Saturday, and he put on the performance. Like I could really feel the energy in his loyal support base. He's a dope artist. It's an honor to work with him. Shout out to the Black Bon Jovi.
Shout out Black Bon Jovi. That's the homie.
For
Yes,
sure, bro.
sir. And we got Alvin, man, the mayor.
What up, y'all? What up? Can you hear me? Do I sound good for you people?
Yeah, you good.
Alvin,
For
Alvin, you
sure.
sound perfect. What's up, brother?
Man, I apologize for my tardiness. You wouldn't believe I just ran in the house, ran straight to the garage because everybody eating in the house. Make sure to get to this politicking, man. I miss y'all.
Yes, sir.
Man, likewise.
So we got to get to this NBA, man. First topic. Ben Simmons, man. He just filed a grievance against the Philadelphia 76ers to recoup the $19 million that he lost in salary for not playing this year. Do you think that he's really like taking his mental health play all the way to the bank? Or is he really like serious? Like, and how do you, as an organization, how do you go about and combat this when a player is claiming mental health issues and won't play? And it's that gray area. So how do y'all feel about this whole Ben Simmons thing, trying to get this money back from the Sixers?
I'll jump straight into it because I missed it. I think this is one of the biggest, most underrated, like I don't know how to word it right, but I don't think it's real. I know it's not real, but I think Kyrie, Ben Simmons, maybe everyone at Clutch Sports or whatever that additional agency is, they're telling these players like, you know who you are, you know what you're worth, and there's no reason to not cash out on anybody and everybody. So bullying is not accepted anymore. He was bullied by his organization while he was still a player of the team. So it would make sense that he would try. I don't know if he's actually going to get the amount of money he's asking for, but I think it's a smart move. I don't think it's bad at all. If you really take in consideration how many people are complaining about everything going wrong in their life, Ben Simmons has enough that he could do something with it. Look at Westbrook. I mean Westbrook. You saw how he addressed the media about that same thing.
What you
I
got
mean,
for
Ronnie
us,
got
Ken?
nothing. Ronnie
I
got nothing
mean,
for me.
here's the thing, right? Like he claimed to have mental issues, and then the Sixers actually stopped finding him, but then he wouldn't give the team updates on his mental progression. He hasn't played a game this season, so I understand what he's trying to do, but I don't feel that he should get paid. I mean, the NBA, like anything, it's a job. I mean, it might be a glorified job outside of the typical 9 to 5. I think that we can all agree to. But I mean, why should he get paid for him not playing? It's just illogical to me, man. But like Alvin said, I think it's a play of chess, and why not try it, right, Alvin?
Man, hey, seriously, if you look at how many players are getting something outside of the game of basketball, Ben Simmons, like you just said, he hasn't played one game all season long. He doesn't have his own signature shoe. He doesn't have a crazy brand that everybody's already following or a crazy logo that everybody wants to be a part of. I mean, honestly, he's already down, right? Like literally, he's already down. He's basically kicking himself to let everybody know I'm about to cash out on what you think is my insecurities. It's about to be financial security.
Hey, Alvin, do you feel like the insecurity from Ben Simmons, it started just from the game and on him being apprehensive about shooting the actual jump shot and then transition into his personal life? What you think on that? Because I know you're a basketball pundit and I respect your points of views.
Man, I'll be honest with you. I think that he got caught up in the limelight dating Kendall Jenner and didn't realize that there was more that came with being a socialite than just being able to talk to or possibly date, a top desired woman in America or across the world or whatnot. And also being that Kendall Jenner is not one of those traditional, oh, let me get a BBW or BBL and all these other different things. Like, I know I said BBW, right? But they all so much want that woman that makes them more relevant off the court. Ben Simmons has always been a go-to hitter when it came to basketball. Like, oh yeah, he can't shoot, but he can do everything else. From the moment he walked on, and he'd set out that first year because he got injured and then won Rookie of the Year, everybody was like, man, as soon as he gets a jumper, he's better than LeBron. That's a lot of weight on your shoulders. So I think the pressure got to him. I think the fact that Philly is not somewhere that you can just play and get away with BS, especially what you hear from like when Kobe talked about winning the All-Star game and they booed him. Like Philly's not the best place to play if you're not about winning and you're not about giving it everything you got. So, I mean, give me half of the money that I would have got this contract since you're already making fun of me anyway.
Yeah. Ben Simmons, okay. First of all, this whole generation seems they have a sense of entitlement. And you know, I don't agree with signing a contract to do something and then getting mad at something and then want to go against his contract. Whatever was happening behind closed doors with the Philadelphia organization, whether it was a riff with Embiid or whose team was it or whatever it is that was going on, bro, you're still contracted to play for the Philadelphia 76ers. You can't just get mad and say, I don't want to be here no more, trade me. That's not how this life works. So to me, Ben Simmons been acting like a spoiled bitch. And on top of that, I don't understand this him not shooting thing. He shot millions of shots from 19, 20 feet, and he's been playing basketball his whole life. You just all of a sudden forget how to shoot a shot. Like there is definitely some mental shit going on. So his mental health shit might be valid because he's mentally fucked up for not taking a wide open jump shot, some shot that he shot millions of times in his life. So no, I think he is playing a game, trying to get paid from the Philadelphia 76ers. I don't think they should have to pay him because he didn't do anything. Why should you get money for not doing anything? You did not do the job, so you don't get money. That's elementary. So no, don't pay that motherfucker.
Yeah, the fact that you're suing for game checks, you didn't play a game. So, it doesn't make sense. If you suing for defamation or if you suing for harassment or something like that, then I could see. But you suing for game checks, you didn't play the game. So how you expect to get a check for not playing the game because you said your mental health was wrong? If I go on a mental stress leave, I get disability. I don't get my regular paycheck.
Right.
So why do you think you gonna go and get your regular paycheck? I don't know, man. These niggas is weirdos out here. So
I
they,
got
The
they,
one
game
they,
is
for you,
they,
Kalum.
they
Look, I
the
they
got
got
game
one
rich
the
for you with
Paul.
that.
They
Because
got rich Paul, and they think they can do whatever they want
no,
now.
look. It's not a joke though. Let's be honest. We know Rich Paul is not a traditional manager, right? He's not a traditional sports agent, right? If he learned it from the streets and he did it on his own and whatever, I don't want to go into his personal issues, but we know, right? there's things that we know that there's clauses, stipulations that no one probably ever read before. I made it to the NBA. Where do I sign? When do I get my money? Okay, cool. So if Rich Paul found something within his contract that he could try to exploit to help him get that money back that he wasted, you
A
know, if we
loophole.
look at a loophole, thank you, Ken. If you really think about it, and you know, if we go on our pro blackness right now, right? Ben Simmons realistically did what James Harden did, but just didn't have enough audacity to go all the way through with it. He didn't lose. He
Oh,
didn't get
good
out of
point.
shape.
Good
You know what I'm saying?
point.
He didn't get out of shape. He didn't show that he couldn't still play. What he did was he tried his very best to play his best in the playoffs, right? And like you asked me, Ken, as far as like, do you feel like that could have been a mental issue? Caleb, you and Ronnie came out and saw me do that little league last year, right? I averaged 25 a game. Y'all left. That league ended. I went and started playing in Chatsworth. I averaged 6 points a game because the team around me was trash. No disrespect, Grand Rising, y'all. I know y'all gonna watch, but our team was trash. And I was so caught up trying to build everybody's morale up and build up the team chemistry that I couldn't do me. So I'm getting it from my teammates. Like, bro, statistically, you put up 25. We thought you was gonna put up 25. I was like, you can't even play defense. So I'm using all my energy on defense to make sure they don't put up 100 instead of me putting up 25 and we get a L.
And embarrassing y'all, huh?
Exactly. So I'm thinking with Ben Simmons right now, I guarantee you, you put Ben Simmons on the Lakers right now, baby, we going somewhere. It's just he's in the wrong city that don't
Well, he in
they don't
Brooklyn
respect
now. I think if he
he about
showed
to
up for
kill in
Brooklyn,
Brooklyn. He's about to
Brooklyn
kill
is
in
gonna
Brooklyn.
be a clear
Caleb,
cut.
if he plays for Brooklyn this year, watch out in the playoffs. Mark my
All
words.
right, so the playoffs are weird now because we got this whole play-in shit now.
Yes, sir.
So I'm gonna pop up the bracket to show
Okay.
y'all what the play-in is. So this is how the play-in works. Ninth and 10th place plays the winner or plays the loser of seventh and eighth place. And then the winner of that game gets the eighth seed.
Correct. All
So
they did,
this is what
all they did was incorporate travel, AAU basketball just to give people more time to get viewers.
people
Exactly.
or the Lakers
No,
or the
Oh,
people.
well,
Lakers.
okay. You know what? I've waited. You know what? Go ahead. I've waited 6 months for you because of all this basketball I've been coaching. I told y'all that if Frank Vogel was the coach with the team that was assembled, we wouldn't go nowhere. I said it. We can go back and look. I said we got
When,
screwed.
when Melo came
This is
through,
not
you was
Frank Vogel's fault.
ranting the
Stop.
Yes, it
Ravens.
is. Yes, it
Stop.
And
is.
Ravens.
I'm a
Stop.
basketball coach, Ronnie. I
Stop.
know talent.
This
I
is
know if
not Frank
you know
Vogel's
why
fault.
it's Frank Vogel's fault? Because
No, it's not.
Frank Vogel does not have the testicular fortitude to tell LeBron to shut up and sit down. Oh, I'm sorry, King.
But who
Tonight,
does?
I would. You pay me
But
millions
who
of
does
dollars
though?
right now.
This
Let
is.
me coach the Lakers for millions of dollars. You'll
Are we
have to
really going?
fire
You
me.
say that
You're going to have to
now.
Are we
fire me.
You
really?
say that now.
We're not about to blame this on Frank Vogel. That's what
I
we're not
have
about to
to.
do.
No, okay.
This is
We
not
know.
Frank Vogel's fault.
Okay,
This
let
is
me
not
get off
Frank
of this.
Vogel's
I'm
fault.
sorry, Caleb. We were supposed to be
Frank
talking
Frank
about the
Frank
play-in.
Vogel. Frank Vogel is not at fault here. Let's
Okay.
get the
Okay.
person that is at fault. The number one person that
Is
is at
LeBron.
fault, and that is LeBron James. It's
Can I
absolutely
can I
LeBron
can, can I
James.
say one thing, Ronnie?
Let me let me
Can
tell
I
you why
say
though. Let me
one
tell
thing?
you why.
Just let me say
let me
one thing real quick, Ronnie. How come we always go to LeBron James bashing?
Can I
No,
can I
don't
articulate
do
my
it,
point?
Ken. Don't do
Can
it,
I
Ken,
talk?
because
It's not
I missed
bashing.
y'all. I missed y'all. Go ahead, Ronnie. Go ahead.
Why do you guys call it bashing? Hear what I gotta
Because
say before you
because
call it
because you
bashing.
never have anything negative to say about God bless the dead Kobe.
Yes, I
That's what I
have
compare it to.
negative stuff to play about Kobe, but Kobe is a different subject. It's not
But
about Kobe. We're talking about LeBron here. So, as I was saying, this is LeBron's fault because he had the power. Magic has let the hat out the bag. Magic told us what happened. DeRozan was here. LeBron the Knicks stat and said, "No, I want Westbrook." We all know. I said it at the beginning of the season. If the Lakers get Russell Westbrook, they're going to be trash. You know why? Because LeBron and Westbrook are the same player and they do not fit together. I said that from the jump. So I don't understand how I'm not a professional basketball player. how LeBron did not know this. So he brought him over here. Secondly, another way this is LeBron's fault, just as Alvin just said, I'm glad he said that. Alvin just said that he averaged 6 points because he was using all his energy on defense to try to make sure the other team don't score 100. LeBron James has been selfishly chasing a scoring title this year the whole season while not giving no effort on defense, hence the reason why the rest of his teammates are not playing defense. We all know that LeBron, in his prime, LeBron has been focused. All his teams were good defensively because he's been an animal on team defense. LeBron is one of the best team defenders ever. When he was in his prime, he was all over the floor defensively. And LeBron has not been doing that. He's given up on defense, so he's chasing scoring titles while sacrifice winning. If he tried to average 20 points and 8 assists instead of 30 and then expand some of that effort on defense and inspire the rest of his teammates to play defense, maybe the Lakers wouldn't be so damn bad.
But then Ronnie, like, I respect what you're saying, but then at that point, if he sacrificed shots and he actually scored less than you know what I can hear coming out your mouth? Oh, LeBron needs to shoot more. He needs to score more.
No, not at all. Not because LeBron has proven he can do that. He has proven he can score. We all see his bag as deep as it's ever been. His offensive bag is as deep as it's ever been. LeBron has improved his offensive game, but that's not what and this is not just in his prime. I feel that it's several times in LeBron James's career where he did not step up defensively. We could have sacrificed numbers. Jordan, Kobe, those guys, they've been in positions where they sacrifice numbers to play defense. LeBron has not done that. I'm going to give you an example. 2009 Eastern Conference Finals. LeBron is having a hell of a series offensively. Now, Dwight Howard does not have an offensive game. It's not very polished. Dwight Howard was putting up 40 balls in that series. LeBron James is not that smaller than Dwight Howard. Why didn't he try to defend
You
Dwight
can't
Howard
compare them. You can't compare them. You can't compare them.
I'm not comparing them. You hear what I said. Why didn't he try to go? They say, okay, Kobe and Jordan, those guys, when they seen somebody that's a threat to win the series, they're saying, I want that guy. Let me go guard him. LeBron did not do that with Dwight Howard in 2009 or Dirk Nowitzki in 2011. He don't want to sacrifice his offensive numbers, and that's a problem.
So why is that a ding? Why is that a ding on who he is? Why is that a ding on who he is as a player?
It's not. I'm not digging on who he is as a player. LeBron is great. I already said it. He's great. He's in the top, somewhere in the top.
Give me the baton, Ronnie. Throw me the baton. I'm
throwing it to you. I'm just saying.
Okay.
We last point.
I know. No, go ahead.
It's not just LeBron's fault. Obviously, I think Rob Pelinka played a big part in this. I think Rob Pelinka is soft.
Thank you.
I think everybody plays a big hand of it. Anthony Davis as well, because he's on that plane with LeBron. But LeBron is a leader, man. When they win, he gets all the credit. When they doing bad, you can't let him escape from blame. So LeBron takes a big blame in this. The Lakers being completely trashed as they're eliminated tonight when they lose to Phoenix tonight.
Don't say
the Spurs
it.
did
Don't
beat
say
Denver.
I know.
So when they lose to Phoenix, they're mathematically eliminated from the playoffs.
I know, but they're not going to lose tonight because that's not going to happen on LeBron's watch because LeBron has
something more.
Not
playing. LeBron's hurt. He's not playing.
Yeah, he's not playing.
That's true. You're right. Because I haven't even paid attention. You know what I mean? Like I haven't even paid attention to it. I'll tell you this. Look, I'll tell you that I've been waiting.
Ronnie, you only say it's not worth it because LeBron is spearheading. It's personal with you and LeBron.
No.
I said as a Laker fan, it's not worth him watching. That's what I mean.
Ken.
No, I understand. LeBron.
Look, Ken. Let me advocate for the famous homie, right? So what it is when you have real Laker fans, like you can even look. What is it? This way on my on the screen, you can tell I got Laker stuff in the background of my garage. Real Laker fans never truly loved LeBron because of the way he was presented to the world as the chosen one, how he was the next coming of Jordan, where real Laker fans like myself, we sat back and went, if you talk about him the right way, we'll accept it. He is the offensively talented Magic Johnson. Nobody accepted that Magic shot the ball from a shot put position like this, and his little mini sky hook was his go-to move. Everything else he's done is LeBron James quality, LeBron James level. But LeBron James is a freak of nature when it comes to his size and what he does
Physically.
with the basketball physically, right?
Mhm.
So that's why he's about to break Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record of all-time points scored in the NBA. And we all knew that when he came in at 18, that if he doesn't break like literally, I remember being in high school, we sat around and said, if he doesn't break every statistical category record, right? Every record, he's not anything, because that's where the bar was for him. Right now in year 19, he is only doing the things that keep his name relevant. There's no reason why you bring Westbrook to LA unless you want to make Westbrook come to LA because it brings clout to your name. Everyone in LA right now is the Banana Boat Crew 2.0.
Of course.
2.0.
Yeah.
Melo,
Did it pause?
we don't want to incorporate the fact that they had Dwight Howard and DeAndre Jordan, right? LeBron and AD, Westbrook, Monk, Avery Badley. I'm telling you, my dog is named Melo because I'm a diehard Carmelo Anthony fan, and I've been screaming at this TV.
Why?
No, you know why? Okay, look, I'm telling you. I watched the first Laker home game, or the second or third Laker home game when they played Charlotte, when LaMelo Ball got to play in LA for the first time this season, right? Carmelo put up 24. They won in overtime. That game, they knew that no one could guard him from the block, so they fed him to let him do him. This entire season, the Lakers have played, I don't know what to do. Let's give LeBron the ball. And they stand there and watch him dribble the ball. He points people off and he shoots ugly three-pointers. If there was a real coach who was not afraid of losing their job, you wouldn't have the Lakers in the potential play-in seed.
But he won y'all a bubble championship though. That's kind
No,
of
Kalum. The
kind
bubble
of funny as
championship was
hell.
all Anthony Davis. The bubble championship was all Anthony Davis.
Y'all had top 5 defense. That was all Anthony Davis too.
Defense.
Listen to me.
It was defense. Like Caleb said, it was defense.
Top 5
No,
defense.
it was. No, it was.
Vogel didn't have nothing to do with that.
No. Vogel had nothing to do because we had a completely different team. KCP, Alex Caruso, Kuzma. You have players who were fighting to be relevant. Right now, the coach doesn't even care about his job. He doesn't even care about his job. He came from Indiana, and now he's with the Lakers, and he got a bubble championship, just like you said. As soon as he gets fired, he has nothing he has to worry about. Someone's going to pick him up over the next black coach like Mark Jackson anyway. That doesn't matter. That's why he doesn't deserve to be a Lakers coach. When you come and coach for the Lakers, you know if you mess up, you got somebody like me that's going to literally flood your timeline with BS.
Vogel don't
Okay,
have
now let's get to the East, man, because we got the Bucks over there, we got the Pistons over there, we got the Brooklyn, we got Miami. As a picture all comes together right now, the way the Celtics came out of nowhere killing. You have the Cavaliers on the run early this year. They got a lot of talent. How do y'all see this East going, especially with like Brooklyn? If Brooklyn match up with Milwaukee in the first round, Brooklyn's no longer.
Brooklyn and LA are done. This is going to be the first
LA.
time.
Why are we still talking about LA?
Because those were the two teams that everybody wanted to see in the finals. They wanted to see LeBron against KD. It would be the biggest finals other than Kobe and LeBron when he was still in Cleveland.
You know what I'm tired of? I'm tired of the light not being shined on the teams that are actually doing their thing, man. Why are we constantly talking about?
Oh, because they don't have
LeBron
championships.
James and Los Angeles Lakers.
The only reason why LeBron is relevant is because he's on the Lakers. 17
I understand
is a big
that.
number.
I understand that, but we got to keep things contemporary at some point, right? And really talk basketball and not talk about what the Lakers lack and what LeBron isn't doing exactly. I mean, we got to talk about the Phoenix Suns. Let's talk about the rising stars. And that's the problem that I have with sports media is we always want, not we, but in general, sports media always want to talk about headlines and talking points instead of really getting to the crux. And let's talk about the people who are winning. Talk about them.
Well, you know what, Ken? I love that you said that because I feel like that's the entertainment part of the NBA, right? And everyone that's incorporated or included in it will not ever stray away because the money's too real. If the three of us got on the ESPN and they said you guys got to talk about Boston, LA,
They're gonna fire
Miami,
me. They're gonna fire
no,
me.
right. But the money that you would have made at ESPN would be so much bigger than what you would have made at Fox, right? But
Well, of course, yeah.
just like you see with Skip and Shannon are able to talk about more controversial issues than Stephen A. Smith has ever talked about with First Take. But it's all kind of goes with the market. And like you said, so like Kalum said, as far as with like the East, everything East Coast right now, they're the dogs of the NBA. This reminds me of the 90s when I was
Back
a
in the
little
day,
kid.
I was about to say that.
Right, you know what I'm
I agree
saying?
with
Like,
you.
you know what I mean?
There's a lot of
Because,
parody. There's a lot of parody.
dude, like you have not seen this much talent in the East Coast, right? And the fact that Phoenix might be the only team that can even come out of the West and actually do anything because Golden State doesn't have the consistency like they used to. So Phoenix being spearheaded by old head Chris Paul, the point guard, with Devin Booker on the left, DeAndre Ayton on the right, man, I'm saying like it's honestly, you know what? Forget the East. It's Phoenix's championship to lose. That's how I feel. If we're leaving the Lakers, look, I'm leaving my Lakers. Let me turn my hat around.
Right? You have to.
I'm
no,
still not.
I'm just saying. So, I'm saying it's Phoenix's. The only reason why I'm saying that is because Ronnie, you and I love controversy, right? Phoenix now has just won or just had the best record of the NBA this season, right? And everyone's talked about every first team or the number one team in the NBA never wins the title. Whoever has the best record in the NBA never wins the title. And the last time it happened was I want to say the 73-9 Golden State Warriors or something along that lines. Like whoever has the best regular season record traditionally doesn't win the championship. But they were the last team out of the West to make it, you know what I'm saying, to the finals, that I feel like they have the most to prove and the most to lose. So it's their championship to lose. They already know what Giannis can do. You know what I mean? They can compete with him.
If Steph Curry is healthy for the playoffs, I'm still not ready to write Golden State off. Golden State is seasoned. They still have their big three that been to 5 finals. If they're healthy, if Steph Curry's on the floor, Klay Thompson has some games under him, Draymond Green is back healthy. They got Andre Iguodala back. If they got all these guys back, I'm still not ready to write Golden State off in the West. I think it's Golden State and Phoenix for sure at the top. I don't think Utah. I think Denver with Jamal Murray could be a problem, but I don't think Jokic could do it alone. So I got Phoenix and Golden State in the West. Now in the East, as Kalum said, and y'all, the rest of y'all said, this has been like the most competitive. You know, the East is deep this year, man. They got 6 teams that could legit go to the final. 6 teams that could legit, and I don't even know which one to pick.
It came out today that Lonzo's out for the rest of the season.
Yeah,
the Bulls are done. Yeah. The Bulls are done without Lonzo, so it's. I think, you know, if I'm not gonna say if Ben Simmons plays, I'm gonna just say the Nets as they are. The Nets have a tall order. I believe in KD. I believe in Kyrie. But they're in the 10th.
Kyrie can play all games now. He can play.
Yeah, but they're in the play-in. They got to win that game, which they probably will. Win another one to get in the play-in. Then they got to go on the road and with the Nets. I'm not counting them out, but it's a tall order. I have the Bucks as a favorite because the Bucks have a complete team. I think they have a complete big three. I think Middleton and Jrue Holiday are underrated as a big three with Giannis. He's hitting jumpers now. No one can stop him now. So I got the Bucks as a favorite. But my dark horse in the East, of course, Miami there. Philly, I don't believe in. Boston is my dark horse, man. Jason Tatum has stepped his game up to another level. And I think Boston is the only team that can really challenge the Bucks in the East. So I got the Bucks.
Ronnie, what you feel about Giannis?
Giannis, honestly, I changed. I wanted to see more last year. Of course, a chip is a chip, but I felt that he caught a big break last year with all the injuries to every single team. And I thought, you know, I said, okay, I want to see him do it again. But Giannis has showed I like guys who work on that crowd. Of course, you know, I'm a Kobe fan. I like workhorse.
Yeah, Kobe added something new to his game every offseason.
Every offseason, Giannis has done that. Giannis is hitting turnarounds now. Giannis hit a step back 3 to tie the game the other night. Giannis is hitting jumpers now. So Giannis, he's looking right now. And I hate when we say two-way player because you're supposed to play defense anyway. So Giannis right now looks like the best player in the league, and it's his championship to lose. They got to come take it from that boy because that boy is putting up 44 points on 13 shots.
Facts.
They got to come take it from that boy. Giannis ain't playing no games. Best player in the league.
You know, hey, I want to. Can I piggyback on that, Ken, real quick? I was looking it up while you was talking, Ronnie, and I apologize, but I was looking at some of those old videos that everyone forgot about when Giannis first got drafted, and they showed him and his mom and the coach pointing at Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's jersey being retired in the rafters. Said, you know, I want to get my name up there. I want to one day bring a title to Milwaukee. I think that we, not we, the three of us, but we as fans of basketball, I think we're forgetting where Giannis really comes from, you know, and how his family has a story, a movie coming out soon that's going to give us the opportunity to dig a little bit deeper into where his life started, why he started basketball so late compared to where everyone else started at a younger age, how him and his brothers were really panhandling to help mom stay afloat. Like, I think when we all really look outside the game and accept that man for who he is, he's going to screw over this NBA for the next 10 years. And it's going to become an East-driven NBA, right? The Lakers and the Boston Celtics are going to become irrelevant. And everyone that has 5 titles or less are going to be all that we're talking about. Just like you said, Ken, like why does, you know, mainstream media only, or sports media only, want to talk about the mainstream teams? It's because, you know, 17 with the Lakers, 17 with Boston, and then you get to 6 with Chicago. But Golden State has 5. You know what I mean?
Those are huge drop-offs.
San Antonio got 5.
San Antonio has 5. And then when you,
and
like
we
you said,
we don't talk about San Antonio enough.
And we don't even talk about
Ronnie.
And we don't even talk about Greg Popovich, who's the best NBA basketball coach of all time by the time he retires. Not just yet, but, you know, he's reaching all the records and breaking it. Like, he just brought I want to say it was what was the Denver's coach? George Karl. He just beat George Karl's regular season record. So, like, his 5 titles with Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and Manu Ginobili will never be taken away. The fact that he keeps his teams relevant and at least in the contention of playoffs up until the play-in was brought into play. Those teams are, like you said, they're going to start becoming more relevant, because if the Lakers don't do something crazy soon, I won't even know how to talk about them in front of people.
But you know what, man? Honestly, Alvin, I think to keep basketball legendary, I think the Lakers and Celtics, they'll always be relevant, or the league will find reasons to make them relevant, just based off of the franchise championships.
Oh, yeah, just like they're trying to add LeBron already as one of the greatest Lakers of all time, and he's only played 2 seasons. And that
doesn't matter.
No, I know, but, you know, for me, it's like, if you look at the game entirely, right, you only have like a Tom Brady because of his 7 rings and his longevity, right? You don't hear him talked about with anybody else. Like, Tom Brady stands alone in the NFL, right? I will never put a LeBron James as the only focal point that we talk about the NBA. You talk about Magic before you talk about LeBron.
So let me ask you this,
from the Lakers.
So let me ask you this, Alvin and Ronnie, because you guys are both, I mean, I consider you guys basketball pundits, but sometimes I get the impression that you guys are more Laker fans than basketball fans. And that's why it's kind of hard for me to talk basketball with y'all, man.
Oh, well, you know, sometimes it's just like the banter, like barbershop talk. Like, oh, you know, who's your team? Who's my team? I have more statistical facts that I can bring up to make my point more relevant than yours. But when it comes longevity wise to like where the NBA is, or just basketball in general, I lost my desire to fight with people for the Lakers somewhere around like 2011, 2012. You know what I mean? Like, we haven't really been relevant for a long time. So it's more or less just enjoying the game.
When it comes to talking about basketball, and this is a 2-part question for both of y'all, when it comes to talking about basketball, do you guys look at um, the lack of, and I'm using this term loosely, the lack of success
Right.
as the Lakers? Do you guys look at that more from a basketball perspective or more of a biased perspective because you guys are actual Laker fans?
Well, no, I don't consider myself a Laker fan more than a basketball fan ever. I remember when I watched basketball in the 90s, I watched NBC when it came. I didn't have cable, so I wasn't able to watch games
It
on
used
the
to be
weekends.
it used to be 6 games on a Sunday, and we would
I
be
watched
glued to
those.
the TV.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
To be
Marv
real
Albert.
with you, I used to like watching. I watched all the teams, man. I watched the Knicks. I watched Jordan when he played. I watched everybody.
Cavaliers.
I watched Reggie Miller, man. Reggie Miller, he was entertaining. I watched the Heat. Like, I'm a basketball fan, but I'm also, I analyze the game different than most. I'm not going to sit up here and agree with ESPN, and all those guys what they say. It's I don't consider myself biased. I try to be as fair as I can, be with players. But I just think we focus too much on, like, as you were saying earlier, we focus too much on this, and you think it might be bashing, but let's stop talking about LeBron James. The LeBron James era is over, man. He's done winning championships. He's not the best player in the league anymore. He doesn't play defense anymore. LeBron James is not relevant anymore. We need to start uplifting the niggas that's at the top of the league, such as a Giannis, Ja Morant that's coming,
Ja Morant,
Trae Young, Luka Doncic. It's time to start glorifying these other stars. We're wasting too much time talking about LeBron James and what he's doing with the scoring title. We all know he's gonna break all the records. So what? Like, let's start talking about these players, man. It's unfair to other players. All they fucking talk about is LeBron James.
Because if you stay in the league long enough, I mean, you can't help but to break records, right?
Yeah, of course.
Hey man, these niggas, these young bulls is out here elbowing LeBron, pushing him when he goes to the rim. They don't care you, LeBron. They is not scared you.
He don't get the same respect. He don't get the same respect that Jordan and Kobe did towards the end of his career.
They would never do that to Kobe. You're
because
right.
Kobe will catch you right back in the face the very next position. But you know what? And I'll be fast, Ronnie, because I know Kalum's ready to move forward. I've always had too many people talking crap to me about what I have to say. So being a Laker fan is just,
I'm
who I am. I'm a Laker fan. I'm a Raider fan. I'm a Dodger fan, right? I was born into that. I'm an only child. I didn't have a choice. So when it comes to how much I love the game, though, we could talk about anything other than the Lakers, and you'd be shocked at how much statistical facts I have about it. It's just amongst my peers, amongst the fellas, we sometimes just get a little sidebar and we talking personal, and it's like a pride thing. But when you really sincerely look at the game of basketball and the way it's transcended, if Steph Curry, and this, I'm going to leave it on this and I'm going to pass it straight to you, Kalum. If Steph Curry would have been drafted into the NBA before LeBron James wouldn't even be relevant because of the way Steph Curry has changed the game entirely with his three-point shot, being a 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2", 6'3" type of player. Everything about him shows the new game. That's why Trae Young is a Steph Curry 2.0 or Ja Morant is a Derrick Rose 2.0. LeBron only represented the ending of that era where you were big and strong and you ran through people's faces. The NBA is a much more I don't mean it like, I'm just saying.
All right, we got to move on.
Look at how finesse everybody is now and the calls and everything. You can't do it no more. That's why everyone references.
I think he was working on the street ball.
Next show. I disagree.
On the street ball.
We got to move on. So let's get to the NFL, man. So they have extended the Rooney Rule. So the Rooney Rule, it requires the NFL teams to interview a minority head coach candidate whenever a vacancy is open. So they're not required to hire; they're only required to interview. And now they've added women to the group of minority. So now it doesn't even mean black, because a minority can be Asian, a minority can be Indian, a minority now can be a woman. So now it's going to be even harder for black men to actually get a job, because the phrase minority can mean anything and everything. And adding women to that pot really doesn't make the rule specifically for us. It makes them for the others. How do y'all feel about this new Rooney Rule change? And do you think that it's the NFL up to their same old bullshit?
Honestly, man, I think that the
Get them.
NFL is. I
Get
think
them.
the NFL is always going to be partial to the NFL. I think that it's a club of just elite men who don't want to give up any power. And the rule for the Rooney Rule to be implemented, that's basically it's like putting a band-aid over a gaping wound. Why does the Rooney Rule even exist? You understand what I'm saying? I
Hmm.
just don't know, man. I feel like it's a good notion. I think it's a good gesture, but I'm gonna just speak for Black people. Until we can have higher positions in ownership, you can put BLM in the end zone during a Super Bowl, but that's just symbolic progression. We need ownership. Anything other than that, man, I won't even entertain it.
All right, my turn. So I think because Kaepernick blew so many whistles and brought so much unnecessary attention to the NFL, and I don't think it's unnecessary, but for the NFL, they felt like that was unnecessary. That by using more diversity, right? Like Kalum said, it only opens the door to allow more demographics to be reached without actually talking about the number one focal point that
Which is
Kaepernick
us.
was literally kneeling about. Exactly. Because right now, and Ken, I miss you. Ronnie, I miss you. I've been waiting a long time to say this. After coaching high school basketball, I realized that we are very dumb and naive and pretending to not be as smart as we really are when we know that sports are just entertainment. And those who are in control of the people who are entertaining us will never give us what we truly want to see. They will only give us what we're willing to pay for. We're willing to pay to see people hurt themselves. We're not willing to pay to see people uplift each other.
At all.
Football is not about uplifting one another. They're not
It's
about
violent.
it's violence. It's the closest thing to the gladiators
Right.
that we still have, because it's funny that hockey is not very respected, but it's global, right? And if you and I get into it on the ice, what do we get? A whole 2 minutes to fight. We get to take our helmets off, we get to take our gloves off, drop our sticks, and we get to throw hands and then go sit down and be punished for 2 minutes or 3 minutes. The NFL is just about guerrilla, massive looking African American men showing off how strong they are, while women on the
Amongst ourselves.
sideline, amongst
Cheerlead.
ourselves, while women on the sideline do like this. Do you see his muscles? Do you see his thighs and his butt? Do you see the cheerleaders who hop on the field who are never, demographic, right? How many of you guys have seen professional plus size cheerleaders? How many?
No.
Wait. With the current way of the world, how many of us have seen male professional cheerleaders? Wow, nice silence. This is all a ploy to keep us dumb and naive, instead of putting us in a position to look at, hey, CTE is real. We had all these football players just a couple years ago admitting that they had thoughts of suicide because they can't think straight because of how many times their heads smashed against each other.
And Alvin, I
So,
feel like black folks had CTE before football.
we've always had it running ourselves directly into the brick wall,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
Figuratively and literally. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
right now it's like, hey, if you guys realize that this stuff that everyone's been saying, like Dwayne the Rock Johnson, that if you top tier Negroes leave the NFL and start your own league, we ain't got nothing to show nobody except field goal kickers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Here
It'll
we
never
are. So
last, though.
it's a pacifier. It's a pacifier with hot sauce.
Of course. It's like, here I shot you, but here's a band-aid.
Yeah.
Why you
And I'm not
bleed?
gonna
Why you
take
bleed
and
out?
I'm not gonna take the bullet out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. The NFL up to the same old bullshit.
Same old.
Not just the NFL, but this is the American way. This is how they do it, man. They want to give it an interview and not actual hires. It's just passive aggressive. Fuck you. That's what it is. So the NFL up to date, this same old bullshit. Like Ken was saying earlier, until we talk about ownership, I don't even want to hear it, man. Like. Y'all talking about giving black folks interviews, like you said, ain't no black owners in the NFL. Barely black coaching. NFL, stop, man. You could fool all these other people, but you ain't fooling the ones that's paying attention. NFL,
it's symbolic progression.
It's only what one black head coach. Oh no, when we got two because Bruce Arians just stepped down, so now the Bucks got a black head coach. So now we got two by default. It was only one black coach, Mike Tomlin, before this. Bruce Arians stepped down.
And so it's like,
but it's on purpose though. There's more football youth camps and rural communities than basketball camps.
Absolutely.
Because it's easier to let a kid know that, hey, if you run hard, if you run fast and you can smack into somebody else, there's somewhere for you on our team. So why put more black men in coaching positions that will actually instill the right values into you, that don't make you sacrifice your entire life on the field, just your sports career. And then also they're going to give you advice about where you should invest your money and where you should try to put your retirement. Like, anything that's better than just a leg injury and you're out for the rest of your life.
But then you look at the Super Bowl and you look at the ratings, and the ratings are back through the roof. And I think that it has to do everything, I feel like, with LeBron James choosing not to end that damn bubble and go get that weak-ass bubble championship. Because if the NBA would have walked out and showed some strength as a people, then the leagues wouldn't feel like they can just brush it under the rug and keep going like business as usual. Right after that, the NFL said, these niggas just want to be entertained. They don't care. And niggas always want to be entertained.
But you know that I don't want to say do you know, because I'm a big conspiracist. I feel like that was a part of the Democratic Party or Democratic's fight to make sure they won the election. Because if you made sure sports kept going over Black Lives Matter, even though it was a conspiracy within itself, it would make sure everyone remembered that, hey, you know what? Black lives do matter, but they don't matter more than my favorite football team or favorite basketball team or favorite baseball team. And that's what ended up happening. LeBron put the championship over his people, even though Milwaukee set out a whole game and made everyone stand still. Like, wait a second, why aren't they playing again? Oh, there was a shooting, the marathon, all these different things. It's all about the behind the scenes. LeBron isn't about the people. He's about the money.
Alvin,
he was paid to make sure.
Theorist. You're definitely a conspiracy theorist. Man.
Yeah. And you know what I said made sense too. Ken, it made sense too.
To be fair,
that's subjective.
To be fair, it was LeBron that everybody was listening to. You know what I'm saying? They were saying that if LeBron say we playing, we playing. So he ultimately had the decision, the power to say no, and everybody would have rolled with him, and he failed to do that because he saw an opportunity to win the championship. And I thought that was selfish on his part.
No,
and contradictory of who he is, because LeBron is for the people.
Yeah.
He's for the people for sure. He's for the people for sure. So it contradicted who he was because LeBron is for the people.
Okay, but if you look, what killed me was I didn't feel that way until I heard it from his own mouth, and he had Obama on his show. Go check out the episode with Obama, and he said when it all went down, he called Obama for advice, and Obama told him that he should keep playing. So that's why he kept playing, because Obama told him So he basically scapegoated it, and that's why when he's talking about the Democratic Party, the face of the Democratic Party told him to keep playing.
Right.
Whoa.
I don't even.
Ken, that made me sound very accurate.
I don't even think it's that deep, man. I mean, at the end of the day,
It is,
no, hold on, let me
Ken.
finish. Just go
It
ahead.
is that deep because you
Bro,
act
go
like we
ahead.
are
No,
supposed to
no,
be
let
here.
him go.
Go ahead, Ken. Go ahead. You know we
I
ain't
mean,
supposed to be here.
I don't know if it's that deep. Of course, I mean, everything that you guys are saying, I mean, it's good for talking points, but at the end of the day, no matter how much you make, you still have bills, and basketball players have bills, and they decide just to push through and play. I mean, I just think it was a financial thing.
Ken,
I don't think it had
let
anything
me
to do with all the other
no.
stuff. I'm just saying,
I'm gonna
and
attack
I
you.
think
I'm
deep
gonna
too. I get it. Go ahead.
I'm
Fair enough.
attacking you.
Fair enough.
LeBron James was offered how many minutes? 90 million before he
Out of
even
high
stepped
school,
on the
Nike
NBA.
with Nike,
Not no
absolutely.
90 million.
Yeah,
LeBron James has
Nike.
already hit $1 billion. If it was me, no disrespect, if it was me with 3 children, which I have, if I knew that my great grandchildren were good, right? I would not have an ounce of fear to stand up for anything I felt that I believed in. And
Okay.
if I believed in the 3 of you, right? And my kids, if I died tonight and my kids were good to go, we riding out on anything that I believe in. Anything y'all believe in and that I believe in, I'm standing with you to the very end. There is nothing LeBron James had to lose except an additional title that he basically was never going to reach.
You
LeBron,
can't say
I'm
that.
sorry.
You can't
No,
say that.
listen. It
Okay,
doesn't
yeah.
look, Ken, not the
No,
championship.
hold on.
I'm not just
All
saying
right,
no, I won't go
let's
past the
keep
championship.
going.
I'm just saying his legacy doesn't matter how many championships he gets. So
Yeah,
he should
I'm
be able
not
to
really
stand for
talking.
social injustice.
I wasn't really talking LeBron as far as on the court. I'm just
No,
talking
I mean
about the
off the court.
ramifications.
Yeah,
I
no, the
believe
off
in the
the court.
butterfly effect,
Yeah,
and that
because he
what
went
had
for
a
a
ripple
championship.
effect.
Right, because he was never going to
That
be
had a ripple effect.
Jordan, and he
Exactly.
was never going to be Kobe. So if he would have made the stand, he could have been in the same category as Muhammad Ali. He would have been in the same category as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in a different way. He only wanted to be
Mhm.
relevant for basketball. He didn't want to be relevant for the cause. And that's
Mhm.
where him making the stand he did, yes, my team got a championship, but I don't respect who led us to that championship.
And
No.
that's to
No.
me, that was the end of the whole Black Lives Matter movement.
Facts.
Because
And we
from
knew it
that
wasn't
moment
real
on,
anyway.
it went right back to sports and being entertained, and 1,000 entertainers jumped in and start doing blog podcasts, and everybody just talks about a bunch of drama. As you see the Will Smith thing, you got everybody and their mama talking about the Will Smith slap this
We
week.
need
Everybody,
an entire show with that, Caleb. That's separate
Man.
content.
exactly. So Black Lives Matter, I feel like died in that moment, but financially they were still taking donations, and reportedly
They
they
what? What
used
about
six
that
million
mansion?
dollars.
What about that mansion they just
Yeah,
bought?
yeah, they just bought a $6 million mansion out here in Cali, man. What do y'all think about Black Lives Matter, man? Was it all a hoax? Is it over?
Can you help me, Caleb? Because I'm a little bit uneducated on this subject. So when you say I read it, it said Black Lives Matter purchased a $6 million mansion. Who is Black Lives Matter, and what does this mansion actually do? Like
So
what
non
happens in it?
Black Lives Matter is a non-profit organization. So
So
they're
they say.
a non-profit 501c3. So they're not supposed to be making any money. So
At all?
they took donations from the people in order to keep the organization running because it's a non-profit. So without donations like a church, this thing can't operate. So they
Correct.
took all this money and they done took some $6 million of that donation money. And just like these pastors be buying planes and doing
Mhm.
Cleflo dollars buying private jets, well now Black Lives Matter has gotten to the activist game in a whole different way. And
Hey
now
Caleb.
there's always been super pastors, but now they're super activists.
Hey Caleb, what a
So,
slap in the
And
face
they're
of the
buying
George.
mansions.
What a slap in the face of the George family, well, to the George Floyd
oh
family, huh?
yeah,
Just a
Hmm.
slap, just to capitalize off of that.
because didn't they get
Like
2 million?
Alvin, like you said, like what's the significance of building a mansion like that? Like, and who donated the money? Put those names out there.
John Legend. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So
Everyone that, yeah.
the seller who sold his name, he goes by the name of Sean Bowles, and he
Okay.
felt like the black community they've been mistreated, and he really believes in the cause. I don't even know who that is.
But how does
What
his?
is the
But how
cause?
does his? But
But,
how does
I
the
don't
what
know.
selling
is
of
the
his house
cause?
help the cause?
That's the
That's
question,
kind of crazy. What is the
right, Money?
cause of
Well,
Black
no.
Lives
Look,
Matter?
the reason why I asked you, Caleb, because are we looking at a potential cult that's about to happen out of this mansion? Like you can reach out to Black Lives Matter, and if you're going through some type of adversity and you need assistance, you can then pull up to this mansion, but they have to obviously give you the address, via. You have to pay for this address. I know they're not going to give it publicly to the
And you
community
have
or
to
to
drink
the
the
world.
Kool-Aid. You have to drink the Kool-Aid, Alvin.
Exactly.
Mhm.
You know what
Yeah,
it
of
is?
course.
This is you remember the episode of Martin when him and Gina are about to get married and he leaves and he grows his fro and he has half
Yeah.
fro and half dread. That's what
And
this
he
mansion is.
started talking different.
That's what this mansion is.
He
That's
was
what this
all
mansion is.
philosophical.
Yep. I didn't even read up on the subject. I know that's what it is already because I'm a conspiracist. I'm telling you.
so what you got, Ronnie?
Man, it's very unfortunate, man. Like I don't, I'm not gonna lie and say I understand everything about the Black Lives Matter movement. Obviously the base of it, where it started and where we intended it to do was let everybody know that Black Lives Matter during the time where the George Floyd thing was happening. That capped off the last 6 or 7 years of these police murders of young black men and children. So that's the direction it was going, was positive at first, but when money get involved, man, especially what I'm saying, like that type of money, shit get tricky. So man, it's unfortunate that I want to look more into it before I go to bashing and before I go to destroying them. I want to definitely look more into it and understand it better. But from just looking from the outside looking in, man, from the surface, it looks really bad to be purchasing a $6 million mansion. You know what I'm saying?
That money, you know what? That money could have gone to that money could have gone to so many different entities, man. Outreach, and even
Right.
putting money in bridging the gap between cities, local law enforcement, and the
Right.
residents. Instead
Right.
of something like I said, man, it's just symbolic progression. And I'm interested to see actually with the mansion how it's going to be put to use, man.
Right.
I'm not a huge proponent of it. I'm not.
Me for one, I just never understood what Black Lives Matter even stood for or what the end game was. For me, it's always
I
start at the
mentioned,
end. What is the? I, some chips in a mansion, bro. They got it on football fields. They got it on. So how much money was actually donated to Black Lives Matter in this last 3 years of this pandemic?
oh man, silent. You
Because
know how many
Million on a
silent
$6 million
donations?
a mansion though? I'm
Silent
sorry.
donations too.
I mean,
in
okay.
California, we all in Cali, so we know how expensive it is
Yeah.
to
Okay. So look,
stay out here. So you
this is
buying
what,
mansions in Cali
dude,
and one of the most
dude.
expensive spots, period?
I
Like, wow.
I'm kind of, what I'm kind of curious about, Caleb.
Yeah.
I'm curious about, like, if it's a nonprofit and they receive donations, right? Who who just who just like blind through this money without knowing who's the CEO of Black Lives Matter, who's the
People do
the
it to the churches
CFO.
Oh,
all the
plenty of
time.
people. Yeah, plenty of people.
People do it to
Well,
the
no, I
churches all
know,
the time.
but no, I know they do it for churches, but churches have to do with religion, and we
I,
all
I get
believe
what
in
you're saying,
no. Everybody
but
believes in something.
hey, but look at this. If you look at the past, the black church was the cornerstone of the black community. The
Correct.
black church is like non-existent
Correct.
nowadays, especially to the new kids. So
Correct.
now you got a black organization like Black Lives Matter that can be the cornerstone of the black people and replace that void that the black church was filling. So now you
But
got Black Lives Matter and you got these kids out here protesting and giving money, but they don't even know what Black Lives Matter is or stands for.
Black
yeah,
Lives
you're
Matter
right.
isn't for black people.
Thank you.
Black
Okay,
li-
thank
black
you.
black black black
Thank you, Ken.
Black Lives Matter is going to be a continued tax write-off until people basically get off the trend. Black Lives Matter won't exist in the next 2 to 3 years. I'm a firm believer.
No. I think it's gonna last past 2025.
You think
I think
so? I don't think so.
yeah. Okay. The thing that the reason why I'm saying now, just like this is a freestyle, I was never really savvy on the Black Lives Matter because I knew it was just a movement. It was just people trying to say something with a hashtag.
Opportunists, absolutely.
Right. And that's how I started with the whole focus on the future movement, right? But when I looked at how many people kind of strayed away from the Black Lives Matter and then end up incorporating into the LGBTQ community, I knew that that message was going to get watered down because now you have two very controversial subjects together that most people don't want to talk about at a dinner table. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I feel like you said when it comes to like a tax write-off, but I also see it becoming an actual program and an actual thing, no different than the Boys and Girls Club. You know what I mean? Because if the four of us research Boys and Girls Club, that's where the Catholic priests came from when it came to the boys being touched, because it was the boys club. They only added the girls because of women's suffrage. And now because people are like in my community, lock-key communities, we work somewhere else. We need our kids to be watched by an organization that we respect, that's well known across the United States. Black Lives Matter is going to end up being the same thing. And I'm telling you right now, it's going to end up in the worst communities saying we can help you with your black children. And who's going to help? Who's going to say, here, help me with my black child? Single black women. So there's no reason why it would ever go away in the next 2
God,
to 3
it's on
years.
some Info Wars, conspiracy theories.
Hey, I
Man.
told y'all, I've been waiting 6
Together
months
in
for
the
y'all.
line.
I've been waiting 6 months for y'all. I've been waiting 6 months. I went 5-35 as a high school basketball coach. I'm telling you, I've been waiting to talk my shit.
That's a losing record, Alvin. That's not good.
That's not.
Hey,
Ken,
you're
not gonna be a head coach that
Shut
long,
up.
my
That's not
boy.
good. Exactly, Cam.
Hey, I'm
That's
on for
good
8
number.
years.
You're gonna have a
They signed me for
career,
8
my
years.
boy.
They signed me for 8 years. I got both boys and girls.
Fine for 8 years.
And you
You
want
ain't
to talk
that
about
clause?
Frank Vogel?
That clause that say when you win 50 games, you gonna be out of here?
You want to talk about Frank Vogel?
Hey,
that record?
Hey, they didn't even
That
have.
record
Hey, that's 3 teams: JV boys, varsity boys, varsity girls. They said if you'll stay, we'll do whatever you want. So I sat back and
okay.
taught
Well,
kids how to play basketball.
Alvin, you end up winning from that record, obviously,
Thank you.
because it gave you more.
Say it twice.
It gave you a higher autonomy. Like I get that, but that's a pretty poor record, man. That record is putrid. And I know you know the game better than that, man.
You know, hey, imagine this, Ken. They had me with high school kids playing against the Lakers. And regardless how the Lakers look like right now, they gonna beat that ass, and they beat that ass. Yeah.
Lakers are officially.
All right, man.
Oh, they lost?
They lost. They no longer.
Their ass whooped.
How much they lose by?
They down by 16 with 2 minutes to go.
Well, that was
damn.
They're playing the Suns, right? Yeah.
Yep.
They're no longer. All right, so we got to get to, this new story developing. California has passed a bill to give reparations to Africans Americans that are descendants of enslaved people. So you have to be a descendant from an enslaved bloodline for you to qualify for these reparations. They're not talking about a dollar amount. They're only talking about the qualifications. This is the new 40 acres and a mule. I want to go straight to my boy Ronnie with this one because he said he can't wait till white people give accountability. Last time we was on, he said white people ain't gonna never give accountability. They ain't gonna never pay us back. I want some money. I want some reparations.
Exactly.
Well, here you go, my boy. How you feel? They're gonna give you another $1,200 check. The reparations probably gonna be less than the stimulus.
It's gonna be. That's exactly what it's gonna be.
Listen, I'm glad I could go first because I got to go pick up my niece from tutoring. So I'm gonna make this real sweet. First of all, okay, like everything else, this ain't even. This is nothing to really get excited over. Did you hear what they said? You have to be a direct descendant of someone that went through pain and suffering. They want you to do all these tests and link tree or was the trees family tree bullshit test,
and
so
that's
you
gonna
can prove,
cost.
and that's gonna cost. So first of all, that's
Ancestry.
bullshit. And
Yeah.
second of all, Lou, the whole African American race has had effects from this shit. What the fuck are they talking about? They're not even approaching this shit correctly. Like when you talking about just the direct descendants, all of us come from over there, bro. Like this has affected the whole entire black race. So, like you said, we supposed to get excited over $600. They're gonna give us another stimulus package, $600, $700. Nah, I'm not excited about this, man. This is another ploy. This is another smoke and mirrors type of situation that ain't gonna get no legs under it. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have a couple of people getting paid because it's only gonna be a couple of people that can prove that they had direct, whatever the fuck they said, direct relationships or relations to the people that were affected by this. So I'm excited to see. I'm gonna sit back and watch this shit show, but I'm definitely not excited about this. I don't think this is accountability at all. I think it's bullshit. I think they're playing games, and I'm just about to sit back and watch the shit show.
I think you know what.
The one thing I want to say though is they did this to us with 40 acres and a mule. They made it so that anybody could basically apply and get it, and then white people applied because they knew how and got our 40 acres and a mule. And then they said, "Look, y'all niggas didn't know how to apply. That ain't our fault."
You know, I
Go
think
ahead,
you know
Ken.
what. I think it's a good gesture, but at the end of the day, I don't think us as blacks in America. I don't think we need a paycheck. We need land. You know what I'm saying? I think land is the only thing that
Agreed.
closes. It can begin to close the economic wealth gap between blacks and white people, if you will. Again, it's just a gunshot wound with a band-aid over it. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's symbolic progression, and like I said, give us land. We don't need another glorified stimulus check. Good for talking points, but it's a joke. But like Ronnie said, I'm very interested to see how everything is gonna unpack.
It's my turn.
Yes,
Hello.
sir.
So this is a selfless plug about focus on the future because the children are the future, so we should focus on them. And with this question, I actually been talking to my oldest Ava, who's going to be a freshman in September, right? And I asked her about what she's been learning in history about the past, like you know, slavery, everything, right? She said that her teachers currently, right now, have already proven and let them know that, yeah, black people were already here in North America. They were here before Christopher Columbus. The Indians that we think were actually African American. We just didn't know what we were saying, and we honestly didn't want to tell the truth. This is what I'm hearing from my 14-year-old. I'm like, oh, wow, you're very intelligent. Go ahead, continue on. So I'm thinking, if in school right now, kids are being taught the things that we politic about, but yet it's not being shared on social media. Maybe this is just to do exactly what Ken just said. Here's money to shut you up because we took your land and you're still too dumb enough to do anything other than talk about how you want your land back. When if you made a stand and did something different, you could actually take it back. So here, black people, here is something to shut you up. And I know you're probably going to spend all of your money on Jordans or Gucci or any of your product. And you know what? We're going to sit back. We're going to sit back. We're going to sit back and we're going to watch it because, the way you wear your clothes, we secretly want to wear our clothes the same way. So we're going to give you money to get fly. We're going to incorporate that trend into our own livelihood. And we're going to be fly for the next 5 years off this $600 because you want what you can't really have. You want the American dream, and you didn't even realize you were the dream in America that we wanted to imitate, but we won't give you that because we're inadequate.
And here's a check, nigga.
For
And then,
real.
wait. And then don't say shit about the fact that we're going to tax it too.
You better not.
Mm-hmm. You better we're gonna send you a W-9 on that and make sure you sign it and get accounted for all that shit. All right,
Yeah.
man, but we gotta get up out of here, man. So give shout outs before we go.
Man,
All right, I'll go.
thanks for
Go ahead, go, friend. Ken. Go ahead. My
okay.
bad. My bad.
Thanks for having me, Kalum. Once again, another great night of content. Alvin, Kalum and Ronnie, it's always good to share a platform where, semi-like minds come together, and it was a great show, man. Shout out to everybody I'm working with. Shout out to the Black Bon Jovi and anybody else who comes through the Ken Chronicles Media portal for interviews, articles, and man, I'm rocking. I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Hey, I want to shout out everybody out here in the 661. I want to shout out Ken, Ronnie, Kalum. I miss you guys. You guys are my brothers from another. Shout out to Yaja Kedit and Brand of Encouragement with his wife Jess, because they're distant family as well. Also, I just want to remind you guys that all this that we're doing and all this positivity that we're sharing with you isn't just about views. It's about making sure we change how we feel and how we think, because we don't have all day, we don't have all year, and we don't have 100 years like they promised us. It's right now. Wake up, do something big.
I feel that for real though, because when I threw Mighty Media Day, it really showed me the impact that I'm having on people's lives. Like,
Sure.
I'm changing lives out here. I'm actually lifting people up. When people were saying like they was at the point where they was about to give up, or if they didn't have no direction, or if they didn't know what to do, the fact that they ran into me and I was that spark that made them keep going, or I gave them that information that helped them get to the next level. That's why I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Ken, he was there at the media day, and he looked at me and he was like, Caleb, bro, like you God sent, bro. Like, ain't no nigga out here like you. And I felt that shit for real, because it's like, it ain't about the numbers. It ain't about all that bullshit. It's about making some real change out here and really
Right.
changing the climate, and, really, really educating and really talking about these different, like, we could have sat here and talked about Will Smith slapping a nigga all day and night, but everything is politics and everything. And that's why a lot of the topics that we talk about here, even when it comes to sports, it's more of the political view and the political aspects that happen within the sports. Because we always politicking, man. Everything revolves around politics, man. So check out the politicking forum, man. We got we got a live stream coming up on Saturday, man. Celebrity basketball game. We live streaming live on politicking broadcasting. We got we up next fest the next day. We got Red Eye Fest on the 23rd. I'm just trying to go crazy with this media shit. So niggas outside, I'm outside, but with a purpose. Niggas outside doing whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you gonna do with your life, and I'm gonna get to it, man. Politic of the podcast.